Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc. Hi guys, and welcome to today's episode. Well, this is an exciting episode because it's the finale. I am finally at the stage where we are getting rooms cleared out. I'm essentially done in the basement, albeit gross. I can't get that stuff off the floor, and that wasn't my arrangement anyway. I tried. I actually did sweep. You can't tell. I swept this room, but you'd never know from looking at it because there's stuff absolutely fused to the floor from a flood. Boy, that was a lot of F words. Fused to the floor from the flood. Anyway, we have just about everything cleared out. I have access to that big freezer, which thankfully for me, I always write in that I don't do appliances because this would definitely be a backbreaker. But I can start to let some light in here. See if I can figure out these blinds. There we go. We'll let a little sunlight in. Well, at the house, maybe you'll think I'm crazy, you probably will, but a house, I don't want to say that the energy of the house, but the vibe definitely changes. When you have sunlight coming in, just everything feels so much better. So I'm letting in as much light as I can. We aired the house out a bit. We had the windows open for a while, so that helped. But we are doing kind of the final sweep and getting some of the last things out of the house. And I think I'm just about done in the basement. The other day, we cleaned up all the debris and, well, the extra soaps and things that were in there. I'm gonna go upstairs because my mom, Linda, actually is joining me today, and she's keeping herself busy upstairs, so we'll go check on her and see what she's up to. Before I go and see my mom, well, look, they've got, I don't know if I mentioned this on the video, but they've got this interesting sort of tile or linoleum floor in here. Of course, it's asbestos. You wouldn't want to keep it, but it was red border, white sort of marbly. I imagine it was very bright white at one point. They put a red star there for decoration. It would have offset it against a white and red kitchen. You can see where some of that wallpaper edging has come away. This was all sort of like a cherry red at one point. Definitely late 40s, early 50s kind of era design. Somehow it stood up. When they say battleship linoleum, that's the stuff. As you think, this has had 70 years of people walking on it nonstop, and all it needs is a good cleaning, and it's fine. Stuff would last forever. This I'm leaving for the gentleman. He asked to leave that behind, that gemstone globe. That's okay. Same, all this stuff is like his mom's wedding dress and pictures and the doctor's diplomas and photographs and stuff. That's all keepsakes. That's left for them, for the family. What we have here, few things I can donate, like the walker, the paper shredder, and if Green Gables plate, we'll donate that. But there's a lot of vintage clothing that I will probably drag home to sort through, because certain old, like varsity sweaters and things like that, which is kind of what this is, like a letter sweater, those are very popular. And there's some vintage clothing is quite valuable, so it's definitely going to be worth going through. But we're down to just a couple garbage bags here. My mom has been busy sweeping into piles, and my job is to grab the dustpan. And I've been behind on my job, Mom.
Yes, you have.
You ready for me?
I have another pile.
Okay, let's get this swept up. Thank you very much for helping today, by the way, Mom.
You're welcome, honey.
This isn't the greatest dustpan.
That's okay. We'll figure it out.
We are figuring things out.
We are. And I found this behind the door.
Oh, I don't even know if I opened the door after all of that. Okay, is it a jumper?
Yeah, those are back in style.
Yeah, Mr. Max Fashions. Don't know that brand. The old wooden ladder I can probably sell. There's an old room divider in there, so we'll keep. I see she's got little piles going all over the place. I'm gonna dump this in the trash. It's funny, I didn't notice that before. It looks like they moved where the heat register was at some point and just kind of filled the hole in. Okay, you want to do this pile too, Mom?
Yes, honey.
Okay. All right, we'll give it a go. Did you see there's like a cartoon mouse hole? That made me laugh when I saw it the first time, like a little Tom and Jerry mouse hole.
Yeah.
All right, one more pile to go. Is there a window open, Mom, or is there a bird in the house?
I think he's just a loud bird.
Sounds like it's right in here. Oh, the door's open. I was gonna say, that bird sounds like it's right in here. But guys, look, the living room. The reason that's swinging is because I just hit my head on it. The living room, it's emptied out. The blinds, I'm gonna say those are gonna be trash, but that's not for me to decide. We're leaving this one stained glass lamp. He said he needed to have a lamp here in the window on a timer. That lamp has been broken, like the sockets are broken loose, so I wouldn't be able to sell it, so that's fine, it works, it's doing its thing. Let's look at the bedrooms. The master bedroom, which was completely full of Beanie Babies. You know, if somebody looked at the outline on the wall, Mom, you'd never think that was, you'd have no idea. You'd be like, well, what the heck caused that weird staining? You wouldn't think it was stacks of Beanie Babies in the case, but that's what it was. Gosh, like the ghosts of the things that used to be here. But it's emptied out now. We've got the window open to let some light in. My mom has swept the floor. Thank you again, Mom. Closet's all cleaned up. That was pretty mousy in there. Not anymore. The second bedroom, again with its telltale, that picture was crooked for a really long time. It's all emptied out, windows open, and I mean, kind of a shame. We went through all this work and it's just gonna be knocked down, but likely, maybe somebody will fix it up. I doubt it though. They're selling it as a lot only. They're not really even valuing the house. Dining room, that's just his stuff. That's all family photos, wedding dresses, stuff that we found. And basement, well, that's all cleared out too. So I'm gonna lock things up. Get that all locked up, and so I'll put a couple of these little Kleenex box. I'm gonna use a Kleenex. I'm not gonna say no to free Kleenex. Just say free. We worked for it. That's pretty much how we're gonna leave the inside of the house. It's ready to go. As much as it needs either knocked down or painting, I mean, all the stuff that needed to come out is out. So job well done here. And there's a little bit left in the garage, which if I look in the backyard, now that you can actually get the window open and there's some light coming through, and there's a nice big yard back there and it looks out at a school field, this would be actually a pleasant place to have a home. You know, good sized lot. And then if you want to expand your backyard, you just go out the fence and you got a big giant field. You can go play catch with your kids or go run around out there, ride a bike. It's nice having a field right out your back alley. So there we go. Now the work, it doesn't end for me. It actually gets even more busy from this point on because I have to go and start hauling all the stuff that's sellable down to the auction house. So that's gonna be next for me. So gotta get stuff auction ready. Here I go. Well, she was too shy to do the voiceover herself, but she's replaced the front door with double French doors. The fireplace that was in position right here is now gone with a built-in shelf nook. Lovely light bright space, southwestern style carpeting. We've added some plants to let the daylight through and some modern ocean kind of vibe artwork. I think it absolutely looks like a lovely space to live. And maybe you might just be the inspiration for somebody to keep this house and fix it rather than knock it down. Wonderful job, Abigail. She did this whole rendering herself, and I think it looks fantastic. Back at my homestead, and I've brought a variety of the vintage clothes that we scavenged out of the closets today, and I'm starting to get stuff set aside for the auction, like these antique indigenous made beaded gloves, or North American Indian, depending upon where you're at, but absolutely phenomenal quality and really good condition. There's actually a couple pairs of those. But I was going through one of the boxes and found something kind of cute. Let me show you. All right, I got a rack to sort the vintage clothing that we ended up picking up. And honestly, there were some really neat pieces. Like, well, that looks like a Don Cherry coat, if ever there was one. Sort of a tartan or a plaid jacket, has maple leaf pins on it. There's some nice vintage overcoats. So I've got sort of the men's stuff on this side. Made in Italy. And then here's this great vintage Toronto University jacket. This was a fun piece. This parka, which if you look at it, it's got this, and it's in good shape. It doesn't have any real issues with it. It was wrapped up nicely. It's wool. It's got these fun little sort of figures on it. Zipper's in good condition. Fur's good. So something like that could sell for a couple $100, I'm sure. We've got more. There's an alpaca overcoat. Nice pea jacket. That's that beautiful sort of vintage coat. This is like a cape. Very, it's a combination of like being super fancy. Like, Cruella de Vil, or have a long filtered cigarette out of your mouth wearing that thing. Some very old frocks and clothes. The last time this was dry cleaned was Hollywood Cleaners in Yonge Street in Toronto, probably back in the 50s or 60s, and it's still in its wrapper today. Suede jacket. So lots of interesting sort of things, all these old 60s kind of outfits, which are pretty collectible. There were some other things, of course, the bay coat, which needs to be dry cleaned, because look at the tobacco damage. Even being in the basement for all those years and in a closet with the door closed, the tobacco filtered its way through the house and onto that, unfortunately. Nice Parisian made, or that's an English skirt, but there are some Parisian skirts in here too. So lots of fun stuff. And then you get into the 70s where you've got these sort of 1970s rompers, these onesie kind of things, which my mom said were kind of a terrible idea. Even though they're coming back, she said, yeah, good luck going to use the washroom with one of those. The whole thing's got to come off. And some nice little dresses and stuff. But some of the surprise, and there's this whole box of the vintage hats and the old blue jeans. So quite a bit of nice vintage clothing came out of that house. But I shouldn't have been surprised that there was a nice tweed jacket, a men's tweed jacket. And being a doctor, this was his fancy, going out coat. The brand, Burberry. And of course, if you know high-end clothing, Burberry's is a very high-end company. And this is likely like a 1950s or 60s. I mean, he was a doctor from the 30s to the 50s. So that could be a very early Burberry's piece. Maybe somebody can tell from the label. I tried looking online and they use that label for a long time. But this is a Irish tweed Burberry jacket. It's got, this on a door so it keeps swinging open on me. I'm going to unbutton it and show you the inside. There we go. Made from Burberry, hand-woven Irish tweed on that side. Oh, look, there's a secret inside pocket. Is there anything in there? Nope, it's empty. You never know. You hear stories of people finding stuff in old coats, but a Burberry jacket like that could be worth quite a bit of money. And surprisingly, I've seen people selling these online, this type of style. One person, it said it sold for like $350 US. Another person had one listed for $3,500. I have no idea what it's worth, but I know that Burberry's is high end, and it's definitely worth looking into. It's a brand that's held its value today. So I will probably keep that one aside. I kind of wish that Melissa or Abigail would like the bay jacket if it were cleaned up, or this other little parka, but that's not the case. So I have a vintage clothing reseller coming by, a different person, somebody who I've dealt with before, and there's all sorts of neat sweaters and stuff in here. And they're going to come by and have a look at what we have, and hopefully I can just sell the whole works for one money and get my garage back, but we'll see. After all that work clearing the house, all the sweeping, the dusting, the sorting, the organizing, I am left with a warehouse full of antiques and collectibles, things that I figured would be good sellable items for this sale. So there's vintage Pyrex, there's all those Beanie Babies, there's sculptures and artwork and so much more. this is going to be a really big sale, and we've combined this sale, all of these collectibles, with all the toys that I picked up on my other adventure. So it's going to be a great auction sale. To check this out, you can go to kauctions.ca if you want to place a bid, or just if you're curious to see what the stuff I found actually sells for. I'm expecting it should be a pretty good sale. We found a lot of interesting stuff. So guys, thank you again for watching this series. This was kind of an in-depth one. It was a lot of clearing, a lot of clutter, and a lot of work, but it always pays off when you find a whole, basically a store's worth of collectibles in good condition for your efforts. So check the auction out. Will be coming soon. Stay tuned for that, kauctions.ca. As for me, I'm off on new adventures and looking for more stuff, and when we get a big collection like this, we generally will sell it at auction here. So guys, thanks again. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see y'all soon, and stay tuned for the auction video. That's going to be coming soon too. So we'll actually show you how things went. But guys, subscribe if you've not already. Stay tuned, and as always, bye for now. Bye guys.